Hi everyone. So first of all, thank you so much to the Woodenfish Foundation and to meditative for inviting me to share the story of this project with you all today. My name is Owen. I'm a virtual reality designer and a game designer from Ireland. And I want to tell you today about the project that I've been working on with my creative colleague bitSmith, which is called Deep. Deep is a wonderful meditative virtual reality experience. In this experience, you explore a mysterious and colorful underwater world, and you meet the beautiful creatures that lie within it. And you do this all through breathing, through the breath. As you breathe in, you move up in the world, and as you breathe out, you move downwards. This might sound familiar to any of you who've done scuba diving before. Has anyone done scuba diving? It's great, right? I'm going to talk about it a little bit like that later, but it's exactly like the means of movement in scuba diving. And I'm going to talk to you about how we arrived at this strange project. And the story starts when I was a teenager. So, when I was young, I was pretty unhappy. I spent a lot of the time pretty lost and confused, and I could really see no place for myself in the world. And this was really, really scary for me. I really was afraid, in many ways, of finishing school because I couldn't see any kind of career that I could possibly ever be happy in. And I'm really lucky that during that time that I did discover the philosophies and technologies of Buddhism. And they were introduced to me by two people. First of all, the writer Robert Anton Wilson allowed me to make sense of some of the strange experiences that I had had as a teenager, integrate them into myself, and move forward in a meaningful way. And then my friend and first meditation teacher, Shafra, who we can see here this was when he was being ordained as a Zen monk. I met him later as a Vajrayana practitioner. He taught me how to sit, how to breathe, and how to sing mantra. And these technologies, these systems allowed me for the first time to really begin enjoying my life and enjoy being a person. I went traveling around the world with my now wife, and we worked in many farms and forests and different places, still kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do. And it was during this time that I first went scuba diving. And before I got in the water, I was really scared. You know, I had visions of sharks and the depth and drowning, and I really didn't know if I was going to enjoy it or not. But as soon as I slipped into the water, I felt a familiar relaxation take hold of me, and a kind of an expansive consciousness. And just simply being without the tether of gravity was so wonderful. I had this one moment where I was being taken by this strong current in the ocean, being pushed forward, and there was this beautiful structure of coral. I exhaled and I swooped low across it, and all of the little fish went darting away. And then just before I went crashing into this other structure, I inhaled and came over it. And it was a perfect, beautiful, amazing moment. And I think in many ways, that's the moment I've been trying to capture again with Deep. Eventually, the dive finished, and our travels finished, and I returned to Ireland, still kind of a bit lost, to be honest with you. I didn't really know what I was going to do, and I hadn't figured things out. And I set my sights on the games industry. I said, okay, video games is something that I've always really liked. Maybe I could make video games. So over the course of many years, I learned game design, programming, production. I joined our local community, and I worked my way to the heart of the video game industry. And over the course of doing this, I learned how to program, I learned game design, I learned production, I ran a studio, I released games, I attended international conferences because it's important to do that, and I built my network. And I spoke at conferences because you got to raise your profile. And I was teaching and I was running workshops, and you know, I completely burnt out. And I had achieved my goal of getting here, but I wasn't really enjoying any of it. And I didn't know what to do. And then I started to remember some of the things that I'd forgotten over the previous years. How to sit, how to sing mantra, how to breathe. And slowly, I started to reclaim a bit of space in my life. And the timing was kind of perfect. And this was around when the Oculus Kickstarter came. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a tiny little project, just for me, that's going to be a little space to meditate in. And I started trying to figure out, how could I build a controller that could track my breathing? And slowly I started to figure out ways to get the outside world to talk to the inside world of the computer. And I built this horrifyingly ugly breathing controller. This was my first sewing project and my first electronics project. And I built these little chambers that you would sit in, and the space around you would expand and contract with your breath. And the intention was that I would kind of tool away at this on the weekends and make this small little thing. But luckily for me, I was invited to show the work at the Playful Arts Festival in the Netherlands. And then I was connected with my wonderful colleague, Nikki, who you'll be hearing from later today. And together, Nikki really got what I wanted to do here. And it resonated with him, and his work resonated with me. And so we set to work on expanding this out. And maybe we can make a small little thing for a few other people as well. This is a version that we showed in the UK. This was the first version that we kind of put out there. And you can see some of the similarities with where the experience is at the moment, but it's very crude and it's very early. And yet, we had the same experience as Robin talked about. People would play it and they would be crying afterwards. Or they'd be asking, would it be okay to embrace us? Or they'd want to tell us about some moment. It was actually quite shocking how strong some of the reactions were. From there, things happened pretty quickly. We took it not only to game festivals, but to film festivals, technology festivals, science events, and all sorts of things all around the world. And to my great surprise, when I was running the game studio, I spent so much time trying to get the press to pay attention to what we were working on. I never made any attempt with Deep to get journalists to cover it. They would come to us, and people from the Boston Globe or from Vice or from Polygon would go, hey, would it be okay? Would it be okay if we wrote about your work? It was outstanding. And we started to do larger and larger installations. This is a large-scale one commissioned by the Cine Kid Festival, which is a huge festival in Amsterdam. And we had 3 players playing Deep at the same time. And these physical objects here that would breathe with the player as well. It was really magical. And this is a project by one of the researchers, Adam, called Faces of Deep, where we can see some of the expressions of people who use it. It was around this time that we got connected to the Behavioral Science Institute in the Radboud University in Nijmegen in the Netherlands. And they were curious. Myself and Nikki had been running this as an art project for at this stage about 2 years. And that's what it was going to be. This was a creative art project. But they were like, we think this could be an effective intervention for anxiety and depression in teenagers. And Dr. Isabella Brannick and Marika and Johannika, her researchers, asked if they could do this work. And it scared the bejesus out of me. I really was so cautious about expanding this project beyond the sphere of art. But I thought about that teenager that I was, so lost and afraid and the world. And we decided we'd give it a go. The game has traveled all over the world. This is myself and Nikki at the Tribeca Film Festival. And it's been such a surprise how it's gone from like a little bedroom project to this project where people are doing their PhD research in it, there's master's theses in it, we've produced a number of papers, and this year it's going to be going into some special needs schools and some hospitals and stuff like that. I think part of the reason why this is that, first of all, it is a deeply authentic project. We never set out to make something that would be successful or that would be popular. It really came from a place that we just wanted to make something good. And I think when you have the luxury of just wanting to make something good, ironically, the chances of success are much higher. And I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about virtual reality as well, and what's special about it. Now, I'm quite cynical about virtual reality in many ways, but there are some special properties. Virtual reality allows us to put somebody somewhere, to put anybody, any place we can think of. That's pretty special, and I'm particularly interested in the capacity for healing that this can afford us. I want to tell you a story. When I was doing therapy, I did a year of therapy recently. One of the best things I've ever done in my life, by the way. And part of the exercises that we did was identify a habit within me that was pushing me to control, to try to protect myself, to try to make sure that I was safe and those around me were safe. And it's kind of easy to plot where this came from. This was a habit formed in my childhood that had now gone rogue and was kind of ruining things in my relationship or making things difficult. So we decided to do something that was talked about yesterday. We named it and we drew it. And that was pretty cool. But I thought, I've got virtual reality. I can do a bit better. So there's this program called Tilt Brush. And in Tilt Brush you can draw in 3 dimensions. So I drew this beast. I rendered him in front of me. This giant, towering gorilla golem. This thing born from my childhood to protect me, but now causing problems. And I went up to him, and I patted his head, and I said, thank you so much for your help. I gave him a hug, and I said goodbye. Now, of course, it's possible to do this with visualization. It's possible to do this with meditation, and I'm sure many of you have done this. But it's pretty neato to do it in VR. It's really cool just to see it right there. The ability to step into our shadows, to meet our monsters, to inhabit the darkness that lives within us in a healthy way, in a safe way, I think has the possibility to transform some of the epidemic of anxiety and depression that we live in at the moment. Like, in many ways, VR doesn't matter. In many ways, these things are possible without virtual reality. But at the same time, this means the joy of it, and I think Robin touched on this as well, the joy of it is that you don't need to have a set of assumptions going in, you don't need to have a set of training going in. One of the things that I want to say is that while it's wonderful to watch people playing deep, and it's wonderful for me to play deep, what's really been joyful is making it. The unfortunate thing is that to make deep has meant that I need to spend many years acquiring the skills to do so. But that won't always be the case. There'll be a time soon where making environments and spaces and interactions in virtual reality will be as easy as Instagram or Snapchat. And what I'd like you to think about is what you will make when the time comes. When it's simple, when these devices exist in most of our pockets, what are you going to make for yourself and what are you going to make for other people? And I hope you'll consider sharing it with me.